elimination. And we're going to solve when you don't have a coefficient of 1, also known as changing both equations. So maybe that's a more appropriate heading for you. Sometimes what we've done, like yesterday's lesson, we've only had to change one equation to make one variable the opposite of the other. Remember, for elimination, elimination means we want to cancel a variable out. That means we need one variable to be the opposite of the other variable. For example, negative 4x and 4x, that way they cancel. X, negative x, that's the way they cancel. Today you're going to have things like 3x and 3x again. And a lot of kids think, oh, I just subtract, I just cancel. You can't. You would have to times this 3x by a negative 1 in order to actually be able to cancel. So don't let that one trick you. What I like to connect your prior knowledge to, think about common denominators. That's what everything's going to go based on, hey, what would the common denominator be of these two terms? And that will tell you what you should multiply them by to cancel it out. Okay, looking at the first one. I have 2x minus 3y is 0, and 3x minus 2y is 5. I need to solve this system through elimination. So notice that I can't really quickly cancel a variable out. I can't turn 2 into a negative 3. And I can't turn negative 3 or negative 2 into a 3. So I'm going to have to change both of them in order to use elimination. So what I like to do is change my x. I change the first thing. The first thing my eyes look at, I'm changing. My eyes look at the x first because that's the first term. So what is the common denominator between 2 and 3? 6. So I want to turn them into a 6 and a negative 6. That's my goal. My goal right now is to turn them into a 6 and a negative 6, because then I can eliminate and cancel out. So what do I need? Make sure you plus a negative. Oh, make sure you do that today or you're going to be so frustrated if you don't, because you're going to go through all this algebra and then you messed up in the distributing part and then you're going to feel cranky. What do I need to times 2 by to get to 6?
Negative 3.
3 or negative 3. I'm going to go with what Kyle said, negative 3 first, because either way, you want a positive 6 and a negative 6. So this way, I'm just getting my negative 6 right away. Then I'm going to distribute, and you are going to be so careful when you distribute. You're going to be so careful. You're going to make sure, hey, before I write this down, is it going to be positive or negative? Trust me, take the time to just double check. You're going to want to. I get negative 6x plus a positive 9y is 0. Distributing my negative 3 to everything. Negative 3 times 2, negative 6. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Negative 3 times 0, 0. Okay, I'm moving on. So I have my negative 6. Now I need to get my positive 6 so I can cancel. What do I need to times 3 by to get to a positive 6?
2.
Positive 2. I'm going to plus a negative so I don't mess up. You're going to be so careful. Always plus those negatives today, I'm telling you. And then distribute to everything, every single thing. And I get 6x plus a negative 4y equals 10. Now I can combine because I have opposites. If you notice the connection, notice that I times the coefficients by the opposite, and I just made sure one was the opposite sign. That will always work. You can always do that, or think of it as a common denominator. Now I can combine. Negative 6 and a positive 6 is nothing. 9 plus a negative 4 is 5y. 0 plus 10 is 10. Y is 2. Keep in mind, we're solving a system. That means a point of intersection. Now is the annoying part where I have to find my x. There's 4 spots you can use for your x. You can use the first equation, the second equation, the new equation you made, or the second new equation you made. I don't care whichever one you think looks easiest. I do the one with the least amount of negatives, and it looks like I'm just going to the first one. Actually, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to the first one. Y is what I solved for, so I'm looking for x. So this y is going to go in the y on my first equation. 2x plus a negative 3 times y, which is 2, equals 0. So that 2 went right there. 2x plus a negative 6 is 0. Then I'm going to plus 6 to both sides. 2x is 6, x is 3. So these two lines intersect at 3, 2. Okay, the next one, I'm going to solve through for x right away. I'm going to also plus a negative. Maybe you should try to do that right away before we do anything. Sometimes I forget and I do it after I go through and start my solving process. But I can't get rid of this thing. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I want to turn my 2x and 4x into opposites. Can you turn 2 into a 4? I sure can turn 2 into a 4. So I only need to change one equation on this one. So again, I want opposites. So my goal is a 4x and a negative 4x. That's my goal because I can turn my 2 into a 4. The common denominator between 2 and 4 is 4. I already have my positive 4x, so now I need my negative 4x. What do I need to times 2 by to get to a negative 4? Garrett? Yep, so I'm going to times everything by a negative 2. And then I distribute, and I'm so careful for signs. I get negative 4x plus 3, just kidding, not 3y, oopsie, plus a negative 6y equals negative 2. And then when I eliminate, I like my equations aligned, so I just quickly rewrite the other equation. Now I can eliminate. Negative 4x and a positive 4x is nothing. Negative 6 plus a negative 2, that's where you better be careful. I hope you don't write negative 4. It is negative 8y equals negative 2 plus 10 is a positive 8. Y is negative 1. So that's my y. Now I need to find my x. Goodness, you can have 3 equations. Go ahead and just start. I like to finish where I started. So I'm going to turn my y. I'm going to substitute that where I started. You didn't have to. You didn't have to. You could have done the second one. You could have done the third one. And this is the same as the second one. You can use any equation you want. Okay, and then I get 2x plus 3 times y, that's right there, equals 1. 2x plus a negative 3 is 1. 2x is plus 3, 4. X is 2. These two lines intersect at the point 2, negative 1. Okay, that's your learning target today. Again, eliminate. Sometimes you're going to have to change both equations. Your goal is to turn them into opposites. Sometimes you'll need to times through and figure out what their common denominator is to be able to turn them into their opposites.